But I mean, this is a pattern that we see that some countries have decided to make that deal. The other big example is Syria. Syria is also being bombed in the past. Even today, Syria has been bombed. Last week, also, Damascus is being bombed by Israel. Israel is just conducting military operations freely within Syria, deep into Syrian territory. And the reports say that what Israel is bombing is that Turkey has transferred some military equipment into Syria for Syrian defenses, and Israel is not accepting that. Israel is preemptively bombing these resources, bombing this equipment to send a message to Turkey, send a message to Jolani that you're not allowed to have any kind of military equipment. You're not allowed to have any military infrastructure or any capabilities at all. And what does Syria do? Nothing. Like Syria doesn't have any kind of response to this, as the IDF continues to encroach into the country, conduct raids into the country, arrest and detain and commit all kinds of crimes against the Syrian people. Is there a government in Syria that can defend the Syrian people? No, there's nothing. And the U.S., what does the U.S. say? The U.S. says that, oh, well, we don't want Israel to be doing this to Syria. Syria is working hard to eliminate extremism. Syria has already made us guarantees that there's not going to be any kind of Palestinian resistance group operating within Syria. We have all those guarantees. So there's no reason for Israel. There's no threat to Israel from Damascus. So we don't approve. We don't agree with this kind of bombing. But we're not going to do anything to stop it. We're not. So, and this is the state of Syria. The state of Lebanon. I mean, Lebanon is also a complete joke. You have the leadership within the civil government within Lebanon who is demanding that Hezbollah completely disarm at the behest of the United States. So, and Hezbollah is resisting this, but how long can they resist these demands from the Lebanese government? So that's going to create potentially a civil war situation within Lebanon because the government wants Hezbollah to disarm. Who do you think that serves? Obviously, it serves Israel. So all of these governments, why is it that the decisions that they make and the moves that they make always serve Israel's interests, always serve the military aspirations of the Zionist state, always result in it being easier for Israel to control more and more territory, to put more and more of the Middle East under its boot? Why is, if all of their decisions are always contributing to that, what does that tell you? What does that tell you about who's controlling these countries? Like, who's really in charge of these countries? Like, is there any doubt left? So these are occupied countries. These are Zionist occupied. And it's really hard to see it any other way. Like, how can you have any other perspective or analysis? So it's just humiliation ritual. It's a humiliation ritual for the Muslim countries. So what's really the future? Seems like, unfortunately, things are going to get worse before they get any better. That's my diagnosis. Things are going to get worse. And yeah, you see these accounts on Twitter that are constantly talking about the collapse of Israel. Oh, Israel is on the cusp of a collapse. Maybe in the past, maybe last year at certain points, that was more believable, or that there was some kind of light at the end of the tunnel that we could see. But certain political events that have taken place have basically foreclosed that kind of optimism, as far as I'm concerned. And all of the people that have a positive outlook, some of these people, they're just shills for the United States. They're look at the shills that are really celebrating what's happening in Syria. Like, they're pretty quiet now, but they got everything that they wanted. If you recall, like after the Syrian revolution, after Jolani comes into power, or as I call him, Goilani comes into power, they start advocating for more alliance with the United States. They start celebrating the fact that U.S. congressmen are coming and taking vacations and tours in Damascus. And from the beginning, I was saying, well, this is a clear sign that this revolution is completely bought and paid for by Washington, D.C. But they're saying, oh, Daniel, you're just an Iranian Medkhali for saying this. You're just an Iranian Medkhali for raising the red flag that Washington, D.C. is taking over Damascus. Like, you're just an agent. But obviously, this is just projection. Like, you're an agent of Washington, D.C. You're an agent of Washington, D.C. if you're advocating for a Muslim country to come into diplomatic ties with the United States, because diplomatic ties with the United States and giving the United States these guarantees means that you are going to be in the hands of Israel. Washington, D.C. is just going to gift wrap your country. Your Arab state is going to gift wrap it, put a bow on top, and hand it to Netanyahu. Like, that's, so anyone who is advocating for alliance with the United States should be seen as like a Tel Aviv agent, like a Tel Aviv bot. Like, that's essentially what you are. That's essentially what you are, and you're deceiving and duping your audience. And unfortunately, many Sunnis fall for it. Like Fall For It Again award, like 75 years in a row? 75 years they've been winning this award. Longer, actually. Longer, because it goes back to British colonialism and French colonialism in the 19th century. So, Fell For It Again award. We're gonna ally with the United States, and we're gonna have all of this economic prosperity. It's gonna work this time, guys. It's gonna work. We just have to be good little Arabs, good little Muslims, peaceful. We have to make sure to say Islam is peace, and sign the deal. And we'll get the Starbucks, we'll get the McDonald's, and we will enjoy economic prosperity. It's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Yeah, sure. We'll have to open up a military base for U.S. soldiers to come, and they'll give us. The U.S. is going to give us fighter jets and tanks. We're going to have a massive army with the state-of-the-art equipment. The thing is that with this Qatar bombing, they have an impressive air force capabilities and air defense. Oh, so impressive, and tanks. And even if Qatar wanted to use those against Israel, they can't, because all of that equipment has remote shutoff. All of that equipment can be remotely controlled by the United States. And do you think the United States is going to allow Qatar to attack Israel, to hurt like even a hair on one Israeli's head using United States equipment? You think that's possible? It's not even possible. Even if they had the will, it's not even possible, because everything has a remote shutoff. Do people not know this about U.S. weapons? That all of these Arab countries are flush with U.S. weapons that they've spent billions of dollars for. It's not like Israel. Israel gets these weapons for free. The Arab states, they have to pay a lot of money to get access to these kinds of weapons. But these weapons are just for show. These weapons are just for show or repressing your local Muslim population. That's what it's for. It's not for actually defending the country from an air attack, from an airstrike from Qatar, or from Israel, rather. So this is the humiliation that all of these countries are undergoing. And what did all these countries say? Oh, we condemn Israel. Oh, how dare you, Israel? How dare you strike our country? Well, this is really bad. Shame on you. Tisk, tisk. We do not approve, says Saudi. Says the UAE. Tisk, we do not approve of this, says Bahrain. So you open up the airspace. You opened up your airspace to Israeli fighter just flying through your country. You open up your airspace, and then you condemn. This is beyond a joke. This is beyond a farce. Who falls for this? So it's hard to. These are levels of humiliation that are hard to fathom.